Karen Waldegrave's Facebook profile caused a stir amongst the internet community in 2011. Her seemingly normal profile took a dark turn when she started posting about conspiracies, mind control, kidnapping, and murder. Sometimes the posts became so incoherent that they didn't make any sense at all. That's when a group of concerned internet users tried to contact Karen and some of her friends to make sure she was okay. That's when Karen disappeared. Today we try and find out, who is Karen Waldegrave? Karen Waldegrave was born in London, England. She studied at the University of Toronto, where she was pursuing her PhD in History of International Relations. Karen was also able to speak many languages including French, Estonian, Latvian, English, Russian, Gaelic, Latin, and German. She often posted in these languages on her Facebook profile that was created on April 14, 2010. Karen was living in Canada when something strange happened to her. Her postings went from being coherent to the ramblings of a madwoman. She would often answer her own post as if she was answering a friend's post. But the replies would get stranger and stranger. They would include conspiracy theories, cryptic messages, or simply not make any sense at all. It all made for a really creepy feel to her page. She was known for replying to her own status updates, including one particular post that she replied to over 500 times in a 12-hour period, seemingly hinting that that's all she did for those 12 hours. Sometimes the posts or replies would be time-stamped at the exact same time. Was Karen Waldegrave simply a person who suffered from mental illness? Or was she, as she mentions herself, a part of the CIA's secret experiment involving mind control called MK Ultra? Could she possibly be a spy who was communicating through her posts? Or was she a computer herself? The anomaly known as Karen Waldegrave has kept internet users in the dark since her last post on May 25, 2011. Facebook profile was discovered in earlier that month. Attempts to locate or find out what happened to her have only run into brick walls. Now, we will try to answer 3 questions. Who is Karen Waldegrave? Why did her post become increasingly cryptic and crazy? And what happened to her? So, who is Karen Waldegrave? Karen's maiden name, according to her Facebook profile, was von Berg Habsburg, but some may have known her by other aliases as well. Kel von Berg Habsburg, Karen Britt Lepik, or Karen Britt Cayley. We know this because of her extensive postings on Facebook and a LinkedIn profile that has been connected to Karen under the name Karen Britt Cayley Lepik. This profile also includes more information about her studies at the University of Toronto and even more disturbing posts. A lot of the postings on her LinkedIn profile have to do with her genealogy, including going back as far as 180 AD, where she says that her ancestor was a Germanic proconsul of Egypt for the Roman Empire. Pretty impressive until you read the next sentence, which, frankly, doesn't make much sense. The only such ancestor at all, none other of them as opposed to us as Celtic, Alpine, Nordic, and Gallic, all Germanic, plus France, in the lineage. She continues, he failed his bid to become the emperor on account of not having been born a Roman, which is fine with us. You can draw your own conclusion on that statement. She also claimed to be related to the Habsburgs, famous for once being the most prominent aristocrat royal family in Europe, but is now remembered for the incest between first cousins that occurred in the family. She didn't stop there. She also said that she was the sole heir to Sir James Vernon George Waldegrave Kell, the founder and first Director General of the British Security Service, otherwise known as MI5. On Facebook, Karen listed herself as married. Presuming that Lepik is her married name, it appears as though she was married to Peter Lepik. This seems to be one of the stronger pieces of fact-based evidence that can be found on her Facebook page and LinkedIn profile. Peter's LinkedIn profile puts him in Toronto as the CEO of a company called Technograph. Googling Technograph takes you to a company that is a graphics and pre-press company. On the contact page, there's an email for the company president, and the email starts with P. Lepik. Karen's Facebook page also contained pictures. They seemed to be pictures of herself, of people she knew, and places she had visited. Oddly enough, all the pictures she posted had some sort of weird damage to them. Some of it appears to be water damage, but not at all. There are also blemishes that seem otherworldly, ghost-like almost. It's kind of hard to describe, but once you see it, you'll understand. Here's a part of Karen's bio from her Facebook page. Sports Karen Catherine plays. Sailing Lake Ontario and beyond. Great Lakes and beyond. Family yachting, cruising, some racing. Last dinghy race won in 2004. Interested, men. Relationship status, married. Anniversary, October 6, 2003. Sex, female. And most interested in, people who inspire, Karen Catherine. Why did her posts become increasingly cryptic and crazy? Karen's post at first seemed pretty normal, nothing too crazy. She came off as intelligent and highly motivated. But then something happened. What that something is, nobody's quite sure of, but it does have a name online. People call it the switch. After the switch, her posts went from seemingly normal to incoherent with claims of conspiracies everywhere. There are many theories as to who or what Karen was. Let's explore. Was Karen part of a covert government experiment or a spy? There are many people who believe that Karen either is a spy who communicated with other spies through cryptic text. Through her many posts, she mentions the Canadian government, local police, the FBI, MI5, MI6, and the CIA. There is also the possibility of Karen being a part of the secret MK Ultra experiments. She mentioned it more than once on her Facebook posts. MK Ultra was the codename given to the CIA's illegal covert experiments that were officially conducted from 1953 to 1964. According to the 1977 hearing report, the project was intended to develop a capability in the covert use of biological and chemical materials. Many believe this included the CIA's attempt at mind control. As a result of these two experiments, 2 Americans lost their lives. Now, this theory is unlikely because officially the last known experiment ended in 1964, unless of course the experiments were a success and they are still using mind control on subjects covertly today without our knowledge. Most of the paperwork was destroyed prior to them being investigated in 1976 and 1977. Was Karen a computer program? Another one of the theories that appeared online was that Karen was a computer bot. The ramblings that were posted could have been some sort of script or API that was used to test something on Facebook. Any of these is not really viable because simply the amount of traceable and verifiable personal information on Karen out there. There's also a screenshot of a Facebook Messenger conversation between someone asking one of Karen's Facebook friends if she was okay. The friend replied, "Why don't you just ask Karen?" Alright, so back to the question. Why did her posts become increasingly cryptic and crazy? Reading through her online post, you can't help but have a creepy feeling come over you. There are times when you feel like something else is going on here. Are we reading and witnessing someone slowly slip into the darkness of mental illness? Karen's posts seem to be pointing to a deeper hidden issue, because for every type of everyday posting, on August 30th, 2010, Karen simply posted, "Mucky muck." Then there are many more moments when the darkness comes in. On May 25th, 2011, Karen goes on a rant. "I don't need a social worker. I have no intention of starting to meet with your pervert network's representatives after what you tried to do to my life, the wolf in sheepskin pig clothing. I am a competent member of the upper classes proper here, and you are not at all at my level of intellect and proper discernment. Stop trying to rip into my life through your social control perversity financially and otherwise. I have never been governed by you. You are abnormal." For me, the mental illness aspect is the most reasonable and likely answer, even though I have no proof of it. But I do think that Karen's mind was slowly slipping away. What happened to her? No one knows for sure. There was a concerted attempt of some of the users on 4chan to try to get in contact with Karen, but when the users were apparently getting close, she promptly deleted her Facebook account. Karen never returned to Facebook. There was a YouTube account that posted a reply to a video that appeared to be Karen, and a Twitter account as well, but they both seemed like copycat hoaxes. Maybe Karen and whatever demons were haunting her have fallen off the grid. And to quote Karen, "The picture is the best I can do. No, it is not. I am better now." What do you think? Let us know down in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next video.